Hello there, what about you? Wee Paddy from across the shock. Now, you see a right lot of old stuff there in front of you, and it's just some of my sharpening stuff. I have a lot of stones and things like that. I'm not laying them all out here because I'm not really going to use that much of them today, but I just wanted to. You'll see in this title what happens when I get a new knife. And this is what happens when I get a new knife. This is the new knife, and it genuinely is one. But when you get a new knife, whether it be an expensive knife or a cheap knife, our instant reaction, or what people tell me, is they take them away and sharpen them. And to me, that's the worst thing you can do with any knife. To actually get this sharpening kit out, whatever form of sharpening kit you have, but to actually resharpen a blade when there's no need is just a waste of good metal. Because no matter what sharpening system you're using, it just takes metal off your blade. And that's all it does. It takes metal off it to get it sharp. So if you open your knife and it seems to have been ground all right, don't just automatically get the sharpener out and go away and hack off some more to get it absolutely perfect. Use it. And then when it's blunt again, do your sharpening then. But you should only have to do this once every very few, it would take quite a few months, unless you're a very heavy user of knife. It'd be months between I would do a sharpening with this and then to redo another one with my Lansky. It would be months, literally, in between sharpening. But when I do get a knife, I have a look at it, I'll cut it, I'll usually have a bit of telephone paper, which is always a great media to find out how sharp it is. 9 times out of 10, and be this expensive or not, I find, well, say 7 times out of 10, the knives don't come great. They don't come great as I can get them sharp. But some of them are all right, and I'll just use them till they go blunt, and then I'll resharpen them. But some need tidied up, and that's all they need, is a quick tidying up. This Lansky removes too much steel. Like this is, these diamond things, you don't use them. Just don't use them for just sharpening knives up. They're for sharpening knives, for just using new knives. Just forget about that once you get a knife. Get your knife and enjoy your knife first. Some of the things that I would use, which I think is better, is I've got one of these, and this is I think it's a 600 1000 grit, and I would use this quite a lot if the knife is quite blunt, because it's not too harsh on the knives. Now, this is the other one that I will use more than most. This is there we go, the Niven CC4. Now, this is only about a year old out. This is the new up-to-date Niven. And on the back, you've got your stone, and then you've got your ceramic on the top, which is a very smooth white ceramic, which is great. It doesn't take much of your steel off your blade, but it'll give you a nice sharp edge. So what I do is when I get the knife, and I'm thinking, here's another one that I'll take out with me that I've often talked about. This is a leather belt, and this is just a wee, look how thin that is, it's a couple of millimeters thick, and it's got 1000 and it's got 400 on it. And I take that if I'm going somewhere and I might need to either strop my knife, or if there's a case I'm using an old knife and I'm going to damage it, I'll take this so that I can repair it on the job. That just goes anywhere. Do you know what I mean? Throw it in any pack. You can make as many of them as you like. This wee thing, I think it was less than £1. I think I bought 2 for £1. And this is just a bit of a leather belt. So you make them as big or small as you like to take with you, and throw in as many packs as you like. And they're rough. They're all right. They'll do a job, if you need it and you're out in the rough. Now, I also carry a rubber with this because the rubber takes the metal filings off the ceramic. I find it's an easier way than running the sink and having to scrub it all off. But there is the baby we use most. And I think if more people, when you're just starting out, if you learn to use this strop, it'll become your best friend. It really will become your best friend. So I'm going to move some of these out of the way. These are the ones that I have used and will use. But hopefully, and I don't know yet. Actually, I'm gonna use this on this knife if it needs it, because I don't know. It's in here, and it's a new knife that I showed from GearBest, and it's a Charlin's HS B003, and it's this wonderful Chinese D2 steel. No idea, no idea, but it's usually pretty good for an everyday, for what you pay for it. This knife costs £9.35, and I even think there's a money off coupon down below for it, so you just can't beat that. Is it D2? No idea. Haven't an idea at all. Might be D2 badly. I've just no idea. I've just found out the ones that I get from GearBest seem to be quite good, and they last a fair amount of time. So, now, what am I going to do? Let's get the knife open. Let's move this out of the way. Get the knife open. Do you like my nice new cloth my wife made for me? I think it's very nice. Now, it comes in a nice wee box. And remember, this is a £9. Oh, by the way, it's a homage. It's a homage. Look at that beautiful, bright blue aluminium backspacer. I just thought that was lovely. Really, really a nice knife. Look at that. Isn't that just lovely? Now, it's a homage, and I wouldn't have a clue what it's a homage of. I do really, but I'm not going to say. It's well built. It's really well built. It's on bearings. Look at that. This is £9. Don't forget, £9.34. What's that going to be? About $13, $14 on bearings. The detent is absolutely wonderful. It really is wonderful. And look at that, on bearings. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring said paper over and check how sharp the knife is. So, this is awful. I hate cutting behind the camera. Well, it's not bad. I thought it was going to be better there. Right. It's not bad, because I know by the feel of it, that's not bad. It's catching the telephone paper. But what that does tell me, and the reason this video came to mind was the one that I done yesterday with a fixed blade knife, was how I sharpened it on this. And I thought, there's so many people think they have to sharpen them on their sharpening systems or on their the belt bladed systems, whatever. You don't. A bit of leather and a bit of wood usually brings it back. And because that actually cut the telephone paper, I know it's not that blunt. So all I have to do usually is do this. And I was doing this yesterday. I find this at night time when I get, say, 3 or 4 knives from, oh gosh, I'm not concentrating. You see that from behind the camera? When I get my knives from GearBest, I like to get them and I like to just sharpen them gradually. I don't like to do it all in one night because that's just boring. Gosh, I really am cutting up my... That is such a sharp point on that. I'm going to change my method of attack and I'll do it this way. And if you didn't know that, it doesn't matter what way you do it. You can actually... And that stops the cutting of the beard. And them scratches you see there, I'll just fill them in with compound. But it is a very pointy knife indeed. So, I mean, what have I done there? A couple of strokes on each side, 5 or 6 strokes on each side. And I'll do one more. Now, hopefully that will have done that. Now, I'll just give it a wee clean off because I lifted compound off the top of that. It's so difficult from behind a... Now, let's see the difference that makes. Now, there's a hell of a difference already, isn't it? You can actually see that and hear that. Look at that going through it. So that knife, there was nothing basically wrong with it, only just it was a little bit of the initial sharpness that they done in the factory had sort of gone off it a wee bit. It is now sticky sharp, and I haven't taken hardly any metal off it whatsoever. So I hope that, I know it was a bit of a simple video. I know it was a bit of a repeat. If you watched yesterday's video, I'm sorry, but I just wanted to let people know that when you get a new knife, the last thing you want to do is get all your fancy gear out and take metal off it. And especially if it's a cheap knife, you know, with cheap steel on it, don't take it all off. Strap it. I mean, I know now, right, that I'll probably not have to cut, unless I do some really heavy work with that. I can bring that back on that for the next few months. I'm just not a heavy user of it, so I'll be able to use that and take next to no metal off that for the next few months. It's great. So if you haven't tried stropping or using, I highly recommend, where did I put it now? Oh yes, this I highly recommend. This is the DC4, the Falkniven DC4, and a wee rubber. And taking that, you can take that with you to work. But I used that in the house. If that hadn't have cut, that would have been my next one. I'd have used the white on that, the white ceramic, and just give it a couple of passes on it, and it brings it up razor sharp. If that doesn't do it, turn it over, give it a little bit on the stone in the back. It's a very fine grit on the back, and then back to the front again. And you don't need to strop after that white, I find. You can do if you want to, but I find you don't need to. So there you go. That's it. Simple video. I hope somebody gets some benefit out of that. But don't take metal off your blade. This takes metal off, but very, very little. But don't take metal off by using all your fancy gadgets when you don't have to. A little strop, I've just proved it to you there. There's a knife out of the box. I've just proved it. It's now sharp. So, thank you very much for watching. Bye. Take care. Paddy's away for a cup of tea. Apparently I said a cup of coffee the other day. Really losing my mind. Bye bye. Cheerio.